we're doing this because it's a conversation that we need to have. We're doing this because a lot of pastors don't have this conversation, so we want to. I mean, racism, it's not just prevalent in the United States, but it's especially prevalent where we're at. I think all of us probably can identify having grown up around racism, whether it was racism that was kept behind closed doors and privately spoken, and you would never say that in front of like other people, but maybe around your family. You would call someone by that name or do that, or even if it was, loudly racism. I mean, I went to a high school where it wasn't a weird thing to be racist. It wasn't even looked down upon, actually. I mean, you could drive to school with your rebel flag, hanging out, saying the N-word all you wanted to, and no one was expected to say anything about it. That was just kind of how it was. That was just the culture. And we're hoping that, we know this podcast probably isn't going to change the entire world, but we're hoping that we can begin taking small steps.
Sure.
We need to address it. We need to fix it.
It is very real. I mean, even as a youth pastor, I remember one time at my church, a grandmother came up to me and she was like, "Hey, can you really talk to my daughter?" My granddaughter, her granddaughter was a teenager, and she said, "I really don't agree with her talking and dating black guys. Can you talk to me? Can you talk to her about that?" I'm just in my head, I'm like, does she know that I'm black? Like, does she know that?
Can you, the black youth pastor, talk to my granddaughter about how bad it is for her to date a black guy?
And so
blows my mind, man.
It's mind-blowing, man.
Absolutely blown. Another situation that I had with a teenager from the church. He came up to me one day. He's one of our worship leaders in the student band, and he said, "Pastor Michael, I just want to tell you, like, dude, I absolutely love you. And man, my grandparents were wrong." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "When I was a kid and black people would come on TV, my grandparents would tell me, stay away from them. They are bad people." And he was like, "You've changed my perspective of that." And so, man, in my heart, I began to ask the question, like, what does happen behind closed doors in a white home?
That's right.
Because I don't know.
And let's remember, it's God over country.
Yeah.
So true.
Always. That
I hope someone's
so
listening,
true.
man.
Because I get it. The flag means different things to different people.
Mm-hmm.
Because our freedoms aren't the same. I called my brother that day and I was like, "Hey man, like, I got a question. Like, you see this on the news, you see Colin Kaepernick taking a knee during the national anthem. What do you think about that? I want to know your honest thoughts." He said, "That's what I fought for."
Back on the Colin Kaepernick thing, and when I'm about to share, you might look at me and say, "Dude, that's a bunch of crap." But anytime that a football player usually kneels, man, being around football and stuff a lot, anytime that we're usually kneeling is when a player is on the field and they've been injured. When an injury has happened, that's usually when somebody would kneel.
Right.
And so the perspective that I see, man, when you see like players like that kneeling during the anthem, man, we're looking at that flag and we're saying, man, there's an injury in this country. Man, this country is
That's
fractured.
good, dude.
That's really
And,
good.
Wow.
man, we're kneeling and
I've never heard that before. That's
Me
really
neither.
good.
and we'll continue to kneel,
You're a
until that
preacher.
injury is taken care of. So